Hey guys, I've got something a little bit different for you today. This is a version 7 gearbox out of my buddy's Cyma M14. He's actually had it forever and it had a couple issues, so we just said screw it, let's just go ahead and upgrade the whole thing. It was a nice learning experience for me because I've only worked on M14s a handful of times and they were just for simple fixes. I never did anything really with the gearbox. So this is my first time actually getting into a gearbox, upgrading it and making it fire and function properly. It was really not very hard once I was actually inside of the gearbox. What was hard was getting to it. There's just so many screws and so many things you have to take apart on M14s to be able to just get to the gearbox, and it's really a huge pain in the ass, really time consuming. So if you're not, if you're wanting to start teching, do not start with an M14 or you will hate your life. But anyways, without further ado, let me just get into what I've put into this gun. So first of all, I've put in a Lonex O-ring nozzle. The stock nozzle on the Cymas are, crappy at best. You lose a lot of FPS. I'd say a good 10 to 20 FPS just at the nozzle because, it doesn't seal very well with the cylinder head. I also want to replace the stock plastic cylinder head with a aluminum SHS version 7 cylinder head, so obviously that helps with durability and sealing. We've also kept the Type 0 cylinder. There's no need to change that out. We just polished the inside a little bit. Also, we've got an SHS piston, the one without the Swiss cheese ports. We got one of those in there, and then we've also got this Lancer Tactical double O-ring piston head. Now this is a kind of an interesting design. It's new on the market, so I thought I'd go ahead and try it. If you can't really tell, camera's not focusing too well, but there's actually a very small O-ring on the front, and then your standard O-ring would go just below it in this notch. It's not installed right now, but so essentially this ensures that you get a perfect seal every time. I just wanted to go ahead and experiment with it, see what results I would get. Surely enough, it does seal better than most of the piston heads I've tried before. Not totally necessary. You can get away with a regular piston head and be completely fine as long as you've heat treated your O-ring and, lubed it properly. You really shouldn't have a problem with compression. But I just wanted to go ahead and try this. It's a little bit bigger as well, so it helps with the AOE correction out of the box. So yeah, this is more of an, kind of an experimental piston head that I wanted to try. It is aluminum, so it helps with the DMR builds, really getting that kinetic energy behind the BB. But yeah. Also, we've got in there a version, this is the version 2, but the version 3 looks basically the same, except the fins are a lot bigger. You can see they're poking out just right there. So yeah, you always want to get a ball bearing spring guide whenever you're going to make any kind of modification to your gun, especially if you're going to make it a lot more of a demanding build. Really, it's just going to help the angle of your spring and going to keep everything nice and squared away in the gearbox so you don't break anything. So yeah, I always recommend getting a nice spring guide with ball bearings. Now the brand doesn't really matter that much. You don't need to spend too much on them. I think this is just a super shooter, so like $4 on BrillArmory.com. But really a necessity anytime you're upgrading a gearbox. Then after that, we have got a JG Blue motor. This is a short type motor, but it's a JG Blue equivalent. We can tell because it is Chinese and it's got the blue end bell with a really powerful magnets. So that's how you know it's a JG Blue. Then we've also got installed a Nuke FET. Very easy install. You actually don't even need to get inside the gearbox to install a MOSFET. This didn't apply to me because I was in the gearbox, but if you're ever just needing to install a MOSFET to M14, it's kind of nice. You only just need to get rid of that front plate right there, and then you can go ahead and install it because the trigger contacts are on the outside. So kind of a nice thing. Kind of trade off because the M14 is a pain in the ass to open up. But without further ado, let me go ahead and show you the trigger response. So I'm running an M140 spring, so I'm hoping to get about 500 FPS once I've got the barrel installed and everything like that, once I've got the gearbox back in the body. But it is running a pretty impressive trigger response with this 11-1 2000 mAh battery. So let me show you that real quick. That's a very mean trigger response, you know, even running the heavy spring. Really snappy. That's because of the motor, the well-shimmed gears, and just the way that everything's tuned, plus the MOSFET. So yeah, guys, this was a really fun build for me. I've never done an M14 before, and I imagine this thing's gonna absolutely kick ass once it's all put together. So yeah, if you guys want something like this, you know, now that I have the know-how with M14, I feel very comfortable, and if you guys want to bring me yours for any kind of modifications, feel free. Since they are harder to get into, I might charge a little bit more than I would normally charge on any other gun. That's just because it's so time-consuming to get into the gearbox. But you know, it'd only be a little bit more than normal. So yeah, let me know if you guys want something like this done, and I will post a video of the finished product once everything's put together, and hopefully I can get a range video as well, me probably hitting some targets really far out so you guys can see what kind of range I'm playing with once I've got the R-Hop and the polished barrel and all that nice stuff in there. So yeah, guys, I know I haven't posted in a while, but I will be trying to post as much as possible, especially since, you know, we're past the holidays and everybody's going back to school, and I feel like this is the time to start ramping up videos and stuff. So, yep, without further ado, you guys have a good night, and let me know if you need anything done.